Okay, over at Duane's house today, kind of midstream on a project that he started on Creeper, his Jeep LJ. He put new rotors on, new calipers. We'll be putting a new brake line on this caliper. And when we go over to the other side, you can see that this side's completely done right here. Good look at what he has. Very nice. He's doing some winter work here to get it ready to get it back out on the trail. You might remember a job we did on this Jeep last year when we upgraded his steering. We put the PSC big bore in. That thing's been working just fine. That was a great job. There's a look at the new steering box right there. And then in the back, he rebuilt the e-brakes on the driver's side. And when he was working on the passenger side, one of these studs just could not, it got all tore up. He had to actually cut his wheel spacer and cut into it to get it off. So he ordered a new stud right here. We'll be pressing that in. We'll be pulling this carbon axle shaft out a little bit to get room to get the stud behind there. And we'll press that in, and then we'll continue with changing out this caliper to the new one right there, and we're going to keep the existing brake line feeding that. So that's a good part of what we're doing today. And this side right here is already done, rebuilt. I run these carbon axle shafts too, been very pleased with them, and so has Duane. So we're just getting started here this morning. Okay, so what we got going on here is the nuts are removed, so we're going to pull this axle out. We're using the old trick where you reverse the rotor and turn it into a slide hammer. We'll put some lug nuts on right here on the studs that he has, and hopefully she'll pull out a little bit.
I feel like it's moving. Yep.
Yeah, she's coming a little bit?
Yep, that's it.
Well, you really only need to go far enough to get that stud behind there. Think you got the room?
Right, it came off, right? Or is it?
Well, that flange piece came off so
It looked
far.
like it came out about a half an inch.
Let's see, let me watch it.
Maybe not.
And it goes.
Huh.
I had to do mine, I'm not going to lie to you, 20 times and much harder. So I'd put some real, or I'll give it a shot.
I was going to tap it around.
Put some real ass into it.
I should tap it?
I just think you can keep doing what you're doing, just pulling straight out in and just give her a good firm pull. Yep, keep going. I don't think it's moved at all, quite honestly. You got a half an inch space between right here and there.
Okay.
Let me give it a few.
And we can take these
All right,
off.
never be fooled by this. You gotta pull. I mean, it was probably
Yeah,
a
wow.
good 30 good tugs on that thing before
Yeah.
she gives way, and then she just pops right out. So now we can get that stud behind it. We could actually do this on the bench. It's up to you. There's no seal that you're going through. You're just trying to get it right back into the carrier now.
I don't want to push on that seal too hard though, either.
There is no seal
Oh,
on
there
the
we
inside.
go.
Yeah.
There we go.
This is see this right here where I'm pointing to? There's your
Yeah,
seal right there.
right
That's
there.
it. Yeah, you're in. Awesome.
Okay, good. And then this.
So we're just putting the flange nuts back on, and then we'll crisscross and tighten that and draw the seal in nicely and the bearing back into the race. Okay, these flange nuts, we suspected that they get torqued to 45 foot-pounds. We verified that. Just like the JK, these same flange nuts here on the LJ get torqued to 45 foot-pounds.
Good, yeah.
Okay, so the axle shaft is the seal. Everything's lined up. Everything's back in place. Now we're going to put a spacer in there and then use a...
Like something like that. No, that's awful big nut, but
Well, you can try it with a lug nut and see what it does. I would think you're probably going to need a little spacer or something. And it needs to be fairly close to the diameter of the bolt so that the lug nut's
How's
grabbing
that?
some good
Like
meat. Yeah,
that?
there you go. If you,
I'll just use that.
and then we're gonna just draw that up, and then the wheel stud is knurled. The wheel stud is knurled on the back side, and we'll just draw that right in and pull it in place. Yeah, slow. Not great progress. Yep. Keep going. Now you'll. It's almost seated, maybe a 1/16 of an inch. Do a comparison with the other one just to kind of see. Look at how the others are as to how far you want to draw it in. Obviously, you don't want to.
I think you're there.
You think you're there? Okay. Nice. Just cleaning up the e-brake mechanism there. We got some brake cleaner, clean it all out nice. Hitting it with a brush, and then we'll put a little bit of anti-seize in there. Reinstall the e-brakes. Clean them all up nice. Clean the springs. Really didn't need to buy a whole new kit. It was just dirty and it just needed to be cleaned. Got it in there good?
Yeah, I think
Nice.
so.
Okay, the LJ e-brakes go together pretty good. Duane was able to put this together quite timely, even with the axle shaft in place. So we'll clean up, the fingerprints off the shoes and clean that up all nice. But we're in really good shape here now to start getting ready to change the caliper. Great. Taking the banjo bolt off the old caliper, and then we'll bolt that up to the new caliper. Take these shitty pads out. A lot of mud, everything's pretty tired. That's what wheeling butcher's block will do to your e-brakes, to all your brakes. Taking that banjo bolt out. He's got new washers. Gives you a washer for each side of that, right?
Yeah. Pretty shut it up though.
Nice. And that plug just pulls out, or you need to pop it out with a little tweaker screwdriver. Very good.
Okay, now how did this go? This was like this.
Yep. Very good.
Went on like that.
All right, just had to run the bolt in there once just to kind of make it seat well, and it's going in good now. Brand new crush washers on each side. All right, Duane got a nice canister of the proper heat-resistant lubricant here for these pads. Keeps things working good and keeps them quiet. Oh, what a difference. Jeez, yeah, this is, you're gonna have some great braking.
Well, you know, I figured why not? Just, you know,
No, I'm happy for
I
you,
don't
yeah.
want, I don't want to screw around.
No.
There's nothing worse than having to screw around out on the
Yeah.
trail with something.
Yeah.
And just replace the goddamn things. Like I said, how old is the Jeep? You know, in general, she's got quite a few years on her.
Well, it's always good to have a nice little winter project when there's not a tremendous amount of wheeling going on. A lot of people have some issues right now with their Jeep, so
That's it.
take advantage of the time and do a little preventive maintenance.
Okay, now this is going to swing around like this. So this is got.
Okay, the new pads went in very nicely, so we're putting a new rotor on here. The guides are all lubricated. It's gone really well. Piece of cake job. Okay, look at that.
All right.
So we're just discussing the drilled out and slotted rotors. Came with it as a kit, so he's staying with that. It'll be interesting to see how that actually does with the type of mud wheeling that we do and so forth, but time will tell. So quite a difference in the way the caliper attaches on the LJ to the adapter bracket. Very different setup than the JK. He's just gonna go snug with these. Even on the JK, they're only like 13 to 18 foot-pounds. So
Like you say, you have to go nuts.
okay, so Duane is installing his Spider Tracks 1.25" wheel spacers. He got some brand new ones because the stock one there had to get damaged because of the whole busted stud and the nut that was jammed up on it. So the whole purpose of these obviously is we're using the stock rims, and to avoid rubbing obviously in the front axle, we have these wheel spacers that we use. So Duane, you're just going with 100 foot-pounds on these?
Yep.
Okay,
That's all we'll go.
that's what Duane uses. He uses 100 foot-pounds on the nuts that secure the wheel spacers, and he runs 100 foot-pounds on the lug nuts for the rims as well. And these are 35-inch tires, correct? 35 by 12.5.
Yep.
Wild Peak mud terrains, and he's done really well with them.
Yeah, I can't complain about them. It looks like Wild Peak made a big push to put these tires on a lot of rigs recently, and they've done okay.
Yeah. Now you run what? What's your rim? These are what? 17 by what? 8?
These are 16.
16.
That's the
So
thing.
these are
They're
16 by
weird-
what? 8 though, aren't they?
Yes. Probably.
Yeah. So they're narrower than the 17 by 9s that I run, or 17 by 9.5s. So one thing I've noticed when wheeling with Duane is he's able to very often just wheel these things at 10. He's wheeled them at 8 psi,
8.
and
yeah,
has
a lot
never
of
rolled
times.
the bead. So that's kind of interesting too with the 16 by 8.
Wait.
Torquing the wheel spacers using the pry bar to just lock it in there between the studs so that you can keep the axle still and torque these. Good little trick, works out nice. And then after this, we've got a brake line to change on the front passenger, and then we'll be bleeding the brakes and putting the tires on, and this job will be done. So this old brake line's coming off. A new one is going on, and had to do a little bit of trimming. I'll come over here and show you what Duane is trimming. He had to just trim the end right there so that it fits in against the little spacer on the new caliper. He had to take off a 1/16 of an inch maybe, just so it fits right. So he had to do that on the other one too.
Well,
we were
let's
just
pull this brake line first from
Okay, so
here.
we're pulling the brake line, and we'll just make mention that these are Clayton brake line extensions. And what size were they? Like, are they how many
They're
inches?
for
Or
a 4 to 6 inch
for a
lift.
4 to 6 inch lift is And you run what lift on this?
4-inch lift with a 1-inch body.
4-inch lift with a 1-inch body on creeper. All Clayton, of course. You can tell by those big beefy ass control arms right there that he rocks on. Very nice.
Why is it being so hard? Am I missing something?
Nope.
I'm going the right way, right?
Yeah,
Lefty
yeah.
loosey.
Yeah.
That is the strangest thing. It feels like all of a sudden it won't move and then it moves.
Yep. Okay.
Looks like we might know what we're doing here.
Nice new brake line. New clip, little push clip that holds it all into place. All right. Bleeding the brakes will be next. All right, all the wheel spacers are on. They're torqued all the way around. New calipers, rotors, pads, in some case new brake lines. So now we have to bleed the brakes, and we're going to adjust the emergency brakes in the back. And then we'll be all set to put the tires on and test her out. So things went well. We topped off our brake fluid several times as we flushed out the brakes and bled them and got all the air bubbles out all the way around. Obviously the fronts took a little more because there's new brake line. The lines have been extended in the front, but we feel really good about it. We adjusted the e-brakes. His e-brake lever now, 4 to 5 clicks. It's jacked up tight, so he's really pleased with that as well. So we're going to put the tires on this thing, and she's going to be in the go position for a test drive. And obviously you'll have to do that procedure of seating the new brake pads. Okay, good day here. Creeper's got the tires back on. She's looking stout. She's begging to do some wheeling. We got to take it for a test drive. Good day. Cleaning up here, and then we're going to get this rig started and take her around the block, see how she's running. Okay, happy to say it was a great day. Adjusted the e-brakes, brand new pads, rotors, brake lines, calipers, bled the brakes. Just a really good day. Creeper's ready to hit the trail, no question about it. Now we got to get Recon 1 up and running so that we can get back out on the trail, but it was a great day today. Recon Jeeper out.